Hello, everyone. Let's talk about some generative AI. Now, for the purposes of this video, I'm only going to be talking about using Chat GPT as a generative AI tool. And I'm also only going to be talking about how to generate some articles because I know that's most of the pain points that a lot of our clients have. Now, there's a plethora of AI tools out there. There is a plethora of options that you can generate from these AI tools. This is just one example of one tool and one example of what we can output from them. Now, a couple of other caveats. When we use generative AI, most of the time, the AI is pulling from the information that is out in the web. It's already been talked about. It's already been shared. Now, sometimes that's okay. But if you're trying to get Chat GPT or any other AI tools to generate thought leadership for you, it's just going to be a swing and a miss. Now, you can provide your thought leadership to something like Chat GPT, and then they can help tweeze it out a little bit more, flush it out, make an article out of it, but you still have to provide that thought leadership. So, a couple of things to think about. As I'd mentioned, it's kind of already been written before. Generative AI is out there searching the web. They're trying to take what's already been published, rewrite it, and then distribute it out back again. The other thing is you should look at a lot of these generative AIs as, a conversation, as a person that you're trying to brainstorm with, as something that you need to set some context for. They're not immediately going to understand every single thing. So let's go ahead and dive into how we use ChatGPT. So two different methods of how we use ChatGPT to generate some articles. Okay, so one of the strategies that we have is actually using a plugin from this Aprim, which is a Chat GPT prompt. Now, you can check out the website here, aprim.com, but basically it's a prompt manager. So the art of using generative AI is all about the prompt. If you put bad prompts in, you're going to get bad content. Now, sometimes it's a little bit of kind of understanding and tweaking those prompts, but Aprim does an actually good job of generating some prompts for us. Let me show you one of my favorite. So let's say we're trying to do an outrank an article. For example, that you want to rank for a term, and again, for articles, so these should be long tail keywords. What is a brand? So if I'm doing a Google search and I find what is a brand, and then I say, this is the first organic what is a brand article. So I'm going to take this and I'm going to put it, I'm going to say, I want to outrank this article, put in this URL. Now, ChatGPT just starts generating an article based off of that link that I put in that would potentially outrank the, top article, brand types, and how they succeed. Now, when we get to the end of this, though, you can already see that although the article is good, right? It's a lot better than maybe, we would come off with looking at a blank piece of paper, but it's not as dense as maybe we would like. So the thing to start looking at is there any places that maybe now, again, you can start having a conversation with ChatGPT and say, hey, could we expand on building a strong foundation of your brand? So we'll simply say, can you expand on the building a strong foundation for your brand? And then ChatGPT will come back and again gives us some more context, right? They were talking about crafting a compelling story, but then they also talk about the importance of consistency, establishing more brands. Because we wanted more information, we needed to tell ChatGPT to pull out specific sections and talk more about them, especially as you're looking at a lot of these articles that are ranking really well. They're relatively long articles full of a lot of information. So we want to make sure that the articles that we're creating are also pretty lengthy and informative. Now, let's say, for example, though, to kind of see how that prompt add-in works, I used the same prompt over here for the exact same article. And what we can see is this is the actual prompt that Aprim is generating to ChatGPT. And you can see a lot of things is like, please ignore the previous instructions. Please write it in English. Do not reply that many factors are influencing. So having an add-on like Abram that will help with some of the prompts might actually help with some of the content that you're creating. Okay, now the second strategy, which is my personal favorite, is to basically ask Chat GPT what they need to know to generate a piece of content. So, for example, my favorite thing to put in is, in a minute, I'm going to ask you to write copy for my business, and then we're going to insert the need, right? So you can put in video script, you could put in sales funnel page. We're going to say a SEO rich article. So in a minute, I'm going to ask you to write copy for my business. That is an SEO rich article. I want you to ask 15 to 20 questions to better understand my business, my customers, my target audience, my brand, my values, and my tone. Now, I'm not using any of the prompts that Abram's giving you. This is just ChatGPT, and I am using the free version too, so anyone would be able to use it. And then you submit. So now ChatGPT has come back and he has given multiple different questions that we can go through and ask. What is the primary product or service of your business? Who is your target audience? What sets your business apart from your competitors? These are great questions to ask to set context. So much like any tool in the world, it needs to understand who it's writing it for, what it's writing it for, what kind of things it needs to say. So asking these kinds of questions is great. And then you just simply take all of these questions and please dedicate the time that it takes for this, because the reward will be great. If you paste this in and then you answer each one of them and then submit it back to ChatGPT, it will then generate an SEO rich article. But additionally, in the same chat, if you would want to, you can ask it to start generating other pieces of content. Let's say, for example, you want to take that article and you want to create some social media posts off of it. Well, inside of this same chat, you can say, now generate 3 pieces of SEO content. And they already know who the target audience is, what the brand differentiator is, and everything else that would need to be set in context. So sometimes taking the time here can generate more content for you moving forward. I'd love to know what kind of stuff you're using generative AI for. This is a small taste of how we're using it for SEO content, but how are you using it? Let me know.